Instead of matrix D, we consider matrix D star, which is equal to 2, -3, -4, and 2. And the problem is find the inverse of this matrix. So the knowledge of the inverse is very important for passing this examination, at least understanding of this knowledge. We are going to find the inverse of this matrix by using the method which is known as Jordan-Gauss elimination. So we basically write down this matrix here. I understand there are some other ways, but I would like to go through this one. We write down the same matrix here. We augment this. This is called augmented matrix. Augmented means just added. It's just another fancy word in mathematics. So we add another matrix here. This matrix is called elementary. And we perform linear transformations of the entire matrix so that we have elementary matrix on the left-hand side and something on the right-hand side. And then we are going to have inverse on the right-hand side. So what we do? What we do, we multiply the first row by 2 and add to the second. So the first row remains the same. The second row becomes 0 minus 4, 2 and 1. What we did? We multiplied the first row by 2 and added to the second. 2 by 2 minus 4, 0. 2 minus 3 plus 2 times minus 3 plus 2 is -4, and so forth. So this is what we get. We got 0 here, so that what we get here is called triangular matrix. At this point, this is not important whether this is upper triangular or lower triangular. This is just a triangular matrix because we have zeros below the main diagonal. And then we make another operation backwards. So now this matrix is equivalent to we keep the lower row the same again. So this is 0, -4, 2 and 1. And we change the first row. We actually can multiply the first row by 4, the second row by -3, and add them together and put it into the first row. So this is going to be 8, 0, -2, -3. Are there any questions how we got this one? Then we divide then we divide the first row by 8, the second row by -4, and here's what we get. 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. Here we get -2, 8, -3, 8, -4, 8, -2, 8. I would actually like that you know this method and know how to use this method well before you apply to the program, and definitely before you start mathematics in the first semester, because it will save you enormous amount of time if you master this. So now this matrix over here is the inverse matrix. How do we check this? We multiply this matrix by our initial matrix. So this matrix is basically -1, 8 times 2, 3, 4, 2. Correct? If we multiply it by our matrix 2, -3, -4, and 2, we ultimately get negative 1/8H008, which is our matrix, which is called I. Sometimes this is called E, which is our identity matrix. So that means this matrix is D star inverse. That means if we have equation something like D star X transpose equals to C, we can find X transpose as D star inverse times C. And since D star inverse exists, we can find the solution to the system of equations. Now I would like to summarize what kind of skills we used in all these examples, so that we more or less know what kind of skills are going to be used in the exam as well. The first, in the very beginning, was the scalar multiplication. The scalar multiplication was used over here. The matrix multiplication was used over here. A times X transpose, which is 2 negative 3 times x1 x2, which is 2x1 negative 3x2. That was multiplication of two vectors. Now we have multiplication of the matrix by matrix. I will add vectors here. We have matrix multiplication, and we used that when we multiplied matrix D by xt, which was 2 minus 3 minus 4, 6 times 1x2. And you can write down the result yourself, I think. The next thing that we have to know is the matrix inverse. We define the inverse of the matrix as as matrix to the power minus 1 multiplied by A is equal to A times minus 1 is equal to matrix E, which is identity matrix. This is kind of the definition. And if we have the matrix A, which is 2 by 2, we can find the matrix inverse using the method of Jordan-Gauss elimination, or we can find it by a very simple formula. And you may check that this is indeed a matrix, an inverse of this matrix. The fourth skill that we used was the determinant. So we found that the determinant of the matrix D was 2 minus 3 minus 4, 6 is equal to 0.